Hey guys, here's episode 2 of the top 200 mods for Minecraft 1.12.2. Again, I'll be covering another 20 mods in this list, and make sure to go watch episode 1 if you haven't already. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, make sure to leave them down below. Carry On is a great mod and a good alternative to the chest transportation mod that I mentioned in the last video. By holding down Shift and right-clicking an entity, you can pick it up and move it around. You aren't limited to chests either, as you can pick up other items like furnaces, spawners, and even animals which can be stacked on top of each other. Davincis Vessels is a personal favorite of mine, as it allows you to create completely unique airships and boats. These have a max size of around 2,000 blocks, and they're able to store all the necessities that you might want to take adventuring, such as beds, storage, and crafting supplies. Included with the mod is some other useful blocks like passenger seats, so you can travel with friends, and crates, which can store mobs. Open modular turrets are very useful for taking out enemies in your world, whether they be hostile mobs or other players. I tend to use these to keep my base secure from friends if I'm offline, as they can be easily automated using Redstone. Turrets will require power to function, as well as ammunition, which should be stored inside. There are multiple tiers to turrets, with each one being stronger than the previous. Quark is a mod which you should always try to include. It aims to add tons of new features, which don't take away from the vanilla experience. Currently, there's 132 features, which is more than I could possibly talk about, but some of the most noteworthy ones include some new mobs such as crabs, frogs, and foxhounds. There are quite a few changes to caves, with cave roots now growing from walls which provide food, large underground dungeons, and some new underground biomes. One of my favorite features is the easy transferring, where you can quickly insert and extract items from chests. Wolf armor and storage will ensure that your pets are able to survive for longer. There are 5 tiers of wolf armor, which start out as leather, with diamond being the highest. You'll be able to apply a chest to a wolf, giving them some inventory space to carry your items. If you put food in here, the wolf will automatically eat it when low on health. There are so many great village mods available, but TekTopia has to be my favorite. Villagers look more realistic, as they now move more freely and actually have animations for the jobs they do. You'll be tasked with expanding a village by building new homes, schools, and giving them recreational activities such as a tavern. There are over 20 professions that villagers can have, with 18 different structures that can be built. There's so much to this mod, and I like how it makes Minecraft feel a bit like a city management game. Custom starter gear is great for multiplayer servers. It allows you to set items that players will spawn with when they first join your world. SecurityCraft is another mod which is great for multiplayer, as it adds a lot of blocks which will help to defend your base with. When I use this mod, I like to use the CCTV cameras, as you can set them up and keep an eye on different areas of your world, including your home. The Universal Block Reinforcer is also great, as it prevents blocks from being destroyed, although it can feel a bit overpowered at times. Some other useful items include alarms, explosives, and retinal scanners. Realistic terrain generation will overhaul the appearance of your world, completely restructuring how it's generated. The mod doesn't add any new blocks, animals, or biomes, it only affects generation. You'll find the likes of large lakes, deep cliffs, and huge mountains. If you install the climate control mod alongside it, you'll also be able to use this realistic terrain generation and biomes aplenty together. Open Glider will add hang gliders to your world, which can be used to soar from high distances. I always choose to install this mod, although it might feel like exploring the end won't be as worth it. Hang gliders can be crafted from iron, leather, and sticks. Recurrent Complex is a great mod for random structures. When installed, it will add over 200 different structures which will randomly spawn in your world, which might range from small objects like trees to larger structures such as forts and pyramids. You can even create your own structures, or head to the online repository where you can download some instead. I'll also leave a link to the repository in the description. Doggy Talents introduces a level of upgrade system to wolves. Now you'll find 19 talents which you can teach your wolf, which make changes such as allowing you to ride your wolf, having a chance for your wolf to catch a fish whenever it enters water, and cause your wolf's attacks to apply the poison debuff to enemies. You can use the texture index setting to change the breed of your wolf. Sadly, Doggy Talents isn't compatible with the previously mentioned wolf armor and storage mod. Better caves will completely transform Minecraft's caves. Instead of being small tunnels with dead ends, caves will now be completely overhauled to be more like caverns. I love the difference this mod makes, as caves are so much more interesting to explore. There are new underground biomes and features too, where you'll find lava lakes, underground lakes, and flooded chambers. Alongside Better Caves, you can install the Better Mineshafts mod. From the same developer, this mod will overhaul Mineshafts so they have all new designs, which depend on the biome they spawn in. There are 9 different variants, which change the overall layout of Mineshafts, and add a few new rooms like abandoned workstations, outposts, and cellars. Wireless Redstone is another mod I can't usually go without, especially because of how many mods actually require redstone to function. You can place down wireless transmitters and receivers and give them a frequency to listen on. You can power a transmitter with redstone for the signal to pass through to the receiver, or use the wireless remote. One great use would be remotely enabling open modular turrets if you know someone is near your base. Additional Structures is another mod which will randomly generate structures in your world. Currently, there's around 155 structures which all vary in size. You'll find small objects like rocks and larger structures like temples. These type of mods just make your world feel like it's worth exploring. The Blood Moon is a rare event that has a 5% chance of happening. When it does, a blood moon will rise and will make the night more challenging than usual. The number of mobsters that will spawn will be much higher, and you won't be able to sleep through it either. Tough as Nails has been discontinued, but it still functions perfectly as a survival-style mod. It introduces some new survival mechanics, which are thirst and body temperature. To help aid with these new mechanics, there are blocks such as campfires, rain collectors, and water bottles, which can all be used to stay alive. Animania completely overhauls Minecraft's passive animals. Now they've been replaced, so there are multiple breeds, genders, and behaviors, making them a bit more realistic. Overall, the new models and textures look great and fit Minecraft style perfectly. The animals have a lot more depth now, as they'll only breed or drop resources when they're happy, which requires a constant supply of food and water. Some animals like the bull will even fight back. Dynamic Trees is a very popular mod, completely overhauling how trees spawn in your world. Trees will now be more realistic and become thinner as the tree gets taller, with multiple branches coming off in all directions. Compared to vanilla Minecraft where trees pop up out of nowhere, Dynamic Trees will cause trees to grow slowly from saplings until they reach maturity. You aren't left with floating blocks either, as once you break the bottom block, the entire tree will fall. There's also a Biomes of Plenty compatibility patch, which I'll leave in the description. That's it for episode 2. Check back soon for episode 3, and subscribe to be alerted for when that happens.